Hi and welcome to today. I'm Amanda and I'm taking you on my 31 days of essential tools and supplies. My essential tools and supplies may be different from yours, but today we're going to be playing with. So let's get started. Hey and welcome to today. Today we're going to be looking at what we're looking at today. Altered catalogues. Now, I did a 31 art journal series last year. It's funny saying last year now, isn't it? Anyway, and I would have shown all of these, so you can check the links to see these. But what I wanted to show you is how, as a creative or mixed media artist, or somebody who wants to recycle and wants to just create, like I'm creating all the time. I enjoy it immensely. I enjoy using so many different materials, and that's why the kind of tools I have, I want to make sure that they're all transferable in the areas that I like to work. I mean, obviously not all of them. Like, I was just thinking, my crochet needles and my wool. But once I've crocheted a piece, I will use it as a mixed media, in a mixed media way. So I might add it to figures that I'm making, or journals. Have I done it in journals? Yeah, I've done it in journals. Like, okay, I'm off point here, but like this is a crocheted, just using this wool that this isn't wool, this is from it's a recycled blanket with tassels, and then I made, I crocheted it. So what I'm saying is that don't feel that you have to go out and purchase loads of different things to, to be creative. And this particular one is a way that you can do it very cheaply. So you can go and pick up, a catalogue from your local department store, or these are phone books. And my local area where I used to live was dropping off these little A5 phone books. They normally bring the larger ones, the A4 really thick ones, and they started doing just for the local area little phone books like this with services. And I thought, oh my gosh, look at these. These would make great little journals, and they would leave like hundreds at the end of the road, hoping that people would just pick them up. And actually it wasn't a cost-effective way of doing it, and I feel sorry for the businesses that were in them. But I think most of them just got rained on and discarded, and so I found a new life for them. And so that's what I did with these little ones. I created 3 journals, art journals, in which I've used different types of paper, stuck it on cutouts, brads you've got here. I've done some stamping, journaling. This is fabric. I printed some quotes on fabric. I've used, I made my own washi tape from tissue paper. I've used recycled paper by creating my own kind of layered paper. These are from bills, actually. So made my own background papers and then attached them. What else have we got in here? We've got the thread. And so this is now a resource that, this is from the magazines. Some of these magazines you get, the craft magazines, they give you like a free packet of paper and stuff like that. So these were papers that I'd got from there, and just use it kind of like in a collagey effect. And the last few pages of most of my journals, because I don't kind of fill it all up and then go to another, there is space for me to come back and do something as of now, like I could add some journaling, I could go back and something sparks my interest. So that's this one. Now this has even got fabric at the back, and then at the front, little flowers, some lace, some it's like a bead, and it's got a foam flower there as well. And you can do something to kickstart your creativity by recycling something that you already have. You don't have to go out and buy stuff. You can look through what you might not even think about them as your supplies. You might collect fabric, you might have bits and bobs laying around. Everything can be used. In terms of mixed media, anything goes, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, you know, how can this be repurposed? How can it be recycled? The pages have been stuck together, so, you know, obviously there's fewer pages than was in the original catalogue, but and it's also made the pages more sturdy. So this suited me, you know, and as you can see, I've used, I've done cutouts, used it as a stencil, and then once it was too flimsy, added it here as a layer for a journal page. And so constantly thinking of ways that you can reuse something might be that 5 minutes of creativity that helps you, you know, just refresh the mind, relax the mind, and gets you just kind of back on track. So, you know, I did the same for all of these. This one, oh, it's stuck together. So this is an unfinished one, and I've just added things as I felt like it and just started pages off. So you can see, I was wondering which one had the really unfinished page. So there's lots of pages, but obviously they're very flimsy, as you can see. But once you stick them together, and then you're adding paper, and then you're adding paint, so you're adding layers, you get a journal then that can be utilised for whatever you want. And you can create loads of these. And this one, I wanted to show you, because this one I created, I stuck all of the, half of it together, and then I created a little pocket, yeah, a little cutout. So there's so many different things, different ideas that you can do. And then this is for, this is journaling that I've done in here, but it's just like, this is for my eyes only, so I put it there. And when this is all about encouraging me, so when I'm feeling, oh, I need a few minutes, I can come in here and remind myself of the things that I should be grateful for, the special things about me, the things I love about me, and then I can just play if I want to. Okay, and this other one, this got me through the middle stages of when my mum's dementia started to get worse. And it was, I had to be staying at my mum's for like a lot of the time, at least 4 days out of the 7 I had to be there, and then I had to get help for the rest. And 4 nights out of the 7. And I wanted something, I didn't do this there, but I wanted something that I didn't have to bring loads of paint, and I could do very simply. So, you know, once she'd finished, she'd had a meal, and she was relaxing and just chilling for the evening, I could spend like, you know, half an hour, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, in this. So one of the things I did was, this is obviously, it's obvious, but it's a John Lewis catalogue, and it's, you know, their homes and stuff like that. So what I wanted to do with this one is create images in that space. So I wanted to use the space, use the, you know, the chair or whatever was there, and just create some images. And so some of the first things I did was just okay, let me see if I can do it. And then what I just did was like go for it. I got my gesso, and I had 3 colours, 2 colours or 3. I think I started out with just 2 colours, blue and red, and gesso. And so I would get a page, and I would take away with the gesso what I didn't want, and then start adding imagery. So this was an image of a bed, minus the kids. And so I thought, when we were kids, when the parents weren't watching, we would jump on the bed. It was like being on a trampoline. And so that's what sparked this image of kids kind of like, oh, it's my turn now, I want to jump on the bed while the parents aren't there. And especially those beds that were like, you know, like you can see here, it's hard for her to get up onto the bed. And so it was like that story of the Princess and the Pea and all those mattresses, and just that kind of fun thing. This particular one, it had just the drawers and the chair, and so I drew a window and a cat laying on the chair. And this isn't finished, but it was what I could do with the time. But it helped me. It helped me have that time for myself. And so some of the others, like, you know, so drawing a lady in the kitchen, or somebody sitting in a chair, or somebody behind a chair, 2 people in the room. I got rid of a lot of the other things there. I think it was just the chair and this. I don't think there was anything else there, but I blanked everything else out and put some people there. And this, just preparing the page for another time when I need to have, you know, some time for myself, and I can go in here and I can either do the same thing. If I'm not ready yet to continue to paint the image or change the image, I can go to a fresh page. Don't know what she was doing. And go to a fresh page and create something with this page. With this as well, I was sticking pages together. And as you can see, here's some of the rest. This is one of the other things that I did, was just paint a random picture in it. And I did some others at the back there. So this was lamps. They were decorated, they were sharing on this particular page, and so I turned them into little bird nests with the bird there. And I've stuck some of the pages at the back. So again, another activity is just, you've got 5 minutes, stick some pages together. You know, maybe look at some pages that you might think, oh, that's interesting. Like it was a page like this, I thought, oh, these would make, you know, interesting nests, and then maybe do something at the bottom. Or somebody sitting on this chair looking out of the window. You know, it's like, it's up to you how you do it. I found the pages that had like either furniture in, like these particular pages, I wouldn't necessarily use. So I would probably stick them together. So as I say, sticking pages together is an activity in preparation, and masking out, like this for me is an interesting one, and I would say do two figures on here. I'd mask this out with the gesso, and then maybe utilise these particular things. So that's really the idea behind catalogues. Just being able to alter them yourself, or find a space that, you know, it's not going to cost a lot of money. It doesn't cost anything because they're free. Sometimes the paper's really nice, so this isn't bad paper, even if you were, well, it is a bit thin, but if you were, no, it's a bit thin. I guess if you were collaging on it, because you're adding to it, it would be different. But I didn't particularly want to have all the pages because I'm adding stuff to it. It bulks it out, so you need to, and I've lost the front page. So I even decorated the front and the back. I think I used the front, I really liked it, and I think I put it in a frame. But again, it's my journal, you do what you want with it. You do what you want with your journals. Yeah, so that's one of the things that you can do. Try and find some altered, even the journal that we were using for this series. This is a university one, and I've stuck together, you know, the pages, either 2 or 3, and I'm using it. I've, you know, added gesso to them and decorated the front, and it's a great resource. It's a great tool surfaces to work on. So there you go. I want you to go out and try, see if you can find some catalogues, go to your local store, see what ones they've got. And as I say, some of them have really nice paper in, so it's nice to work on them and just practice and play. And especially when you're using, like, you know, the cheaper paints, the folk art paints are not... I've got these 3 variety, oh no, it's 2 variety, the folk art and the apple barrel. These are, you know, fairly inexpensive paints that you can get and utilise it, or use your watercolour pencils, because I used Inktense on these, and it's that, I think that's why the colour is so quite vibrant, and there's less mess. There was less mess, you know. All I had, as I say, all I had was my gesso, and I used the Inktense pencils and my graphite, water-soluble graphite. Well, this isn't really water-soluble, but it's a charcoal pencil, and that's what I used, you know. And I just, as I said, I just added where I wanted to, gessoed it out, added colour, and left it like that for another time. So I hope that has been useful for you. I hope that you're able to look at catalogues in a different way and find a use for them, because there's so many printed and so many thrown away, you know, in landfill. And I've yet to find, you know, those thicker, like the yellow pages, but now the paper in those are really thin. But again, if you're sticking them together, you know, you might be able to create something, and I probably will try it just to see how it looks. Anyway, so I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope that this has been of use, and I'd love to see what you produce. Oh, that rhymes. So check back tomorrow, see what I'm going to be talking about, and please leave a comment. If this is your first time, then please do subscribe and come back and click the notification bell so that you're notified of whenever I produce another video or upload another video. Anyway, so leaving it there for now. Take care, stay blessed, and be a blessing, and see you soon. Bye.